Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 153 of Gains. This one is titled The Confession. The summit was far prettier than what you remembered it last time. Last time, it had been the sky that had stolen the show, with all its coloured hues from the setting sun, coupled with the good vibes coming at you surrounded by your girls. But this time was different. The sun was warm, the grass was green, and it just felt like life resided there. You breathed the vibrant air in and slowed, looking around for a good spot to set up the picnic. Where shall we have lunch? You asked your boys, looking over your shoulder at them. Up ahead looks good, Kiri said from the back, pointing to just up on the rise. You looked to see where he was pointing and saw the rise up ahead and then nodded. Okay, looks good, you said, setting off in that direction. You got to the flattest spot there and dropped your bag off your shoulders, crouching down to unzip it so you could get your picnic blanket out and set it up. Here, let me help, Kiri said, reaching for one corner to help lay the blanket out for you. Thanks, E, you said gratefully, letting him assist in the laying of the blanket, while Bakugou was pulling food items out of your bags. Due to you all being quite hungry, the blanket was laid out in no time flat, and the food was set out in the middle of the blanket for open pickings. You and Bakugou got straight into it, but even though Kiri had said he was hungry, he didn't seem to be getting into the food as much as you both were, and was just kind of picking around the edges. You okay? You asked him when you saw he had just picked out one strawberry to munch on. Yeah, I got something that's... He mumbled, and you knew immediately that he was nervous about asking Bakugou to be his boyfriend. What? Bakugou grunted. I'm just waiting for a good time, Kiri said nervously. Good time for what? Bakugou asked again. A good time to ask you to be my boyfriend, Kiri admitted honestly, not realising what he had said until just after he'd said it. Bakugou froze. You froze. Kiri suddenly realised that he'd just said it and froze as well, the three of you just sitting there silently while you waited for somebody to say something. Me? Bakugou grunted at Kiri, who dropped his head and nodded sheepishly. Sorry bro, Kiri apologised. I'd been meaning to do a proper confession, but I messed it up. I really like you and... You don't need to tell me, I already know, Bakugou replied. Okay, but will you be my boyfriend? So that we can all be in this together? He asked hopefully. You already are my boyfriend, Bakugou grunted. You don't need to make a big deal about it. Be nice, Katsuki, you chided playfully. He's just trying to be nice here. Please tell him nicely that you'll be his boyfriend. For me, you begged sweetly. Fine, Bakugou grunted, crossing his arms across his chest and looking away with a scowl. No, I want you to actually say it, you chided. Say, yes, E, I'll be your boyfriend. Fine. Yes, I'll be your boyfriend, he mumbled, and you squealed with delight and half got up to give Bakugou a big hug and then turned to Kiri to give him a big hug too. Okay, now kiss to seal the deal, you said, clapping your hands together with excitement. No, Bakugou barked. Oh, come on, just a quick one. Let Kiri kiss your cheek? I know there's been more than just a cheek kiss before, you said knowingly. Bakugou grunted, and Kiri got up and crawled around the food to get to Bakugou and gingerly reached his head to the blondes and kissed him lightly on the cheek, and it looked like his red hair colour had suddenly transferred to Bakugou's cheeks. Oh, you squealed with excitement. So cute. Shut up, it's not, Bakugou snapped. It's manly, Kiri added brightly. You laughed. Kiri's appetite came back with a vengeance after that, after he'd gotten that off his chest, and hooked into the food, eating his fill plus more, and before long it was time to head back down the mountain again. What an awesome day this has been, you bubbled, excited about the events that had unfolded between your boys. Yeah, Kiri said with a bright-toothed smile. It's always good with the three of us, Bakugou grunted, and you nodded in agreement as you walked side by side down the wider part of the track. You smiled across at Kiri and took his hand, and he smiled at you and then at his boyfriend Bakugou on the other side of him and took his hand, the three of you walking side by side, hand in hand, making your way back down to the bus stop. That next week was the usual madness, and being back at school meant that you could catch up with your girls and hear about how all their internships went. It sounded like you all had something interesting happen on your trips, but the girls were mostly impressed with your rescue and being the girl in the spotlight for Girl Nation. You continued your training with Ori and went to visit Mum a few more times. You weren't sure about how she would take your boys admitting to dating each other, so you left that part out and decided to tell her once you'd fully gotten used to the fact that you were in a poly relationship in the first place. Fat Gum had been visiting her regularly too, and they'd gone for a dinner date one night at his famed takoyaki place, which he'd really enjoyed. She also told you that he had complimented her and told her how wonderful she looked, This compliment had done wonders for her esteem, and she was positively radiant now, full of life and excitement. Her weight loss was steady, and she was feeling great. Still had a lot of curves to wow them boys, but she wasn't struggling with her health like before, and the on-site doctors had been very impressed with how quickly she was improving. On the dad front, he had sent her the divorce papers, and the rehab facility had hired a lawyer to take care of everything so that your mum would be well supported and would get the compensation that she deserved for the treatment she sustained while living with him. You were hoping it was going to be a great payout. That way, she'd be set for life. In the meantime, your mum had ordered cleaners to go to the house and take everything out that belonged to her and you, and just left what was necessary for your dad. You were grateful for that. You didn't want to ever go back to that place or see him again. All too soon, it was the end of the week, and you had just finished up the final class of the day, ready to go and get changed into your fancy clothes to attend the gala that would be taking place at the school hall to celebrate the internship week. Your mum had said that she would drive in, so you were planning to meet her at the gates and walk in with her. She didn't know her way around the school like you did, so at 6 p.m, you found yourself waiting patiently at the school gates, gazing down the road, waiting to see her car. Can you believe it's the final chapter tomorrow, chapter 154? It's been like 5 months, I think, or something running, but we're finally at the final chapter tomorrow. I'll see you all then.